Good morning to my beloved student. Today we are going to learn very important and interesting about the travel journey from the perspective of George Miles. And the name of the lesson is Japan and Brazil Through Traveler's Eye, written by George Miles. Just imagine, students, without spending not even 1 rupee, we are going to travel along with George Miles to Japan and Brazil right now. So get ready, pack up your bags, let us tour along with our author George Miles. George Miles is an Hungarian artist and author. He writes about his traveling experience from two different places of the world, that is Japan and Brazil. So in this class we are going to discuss about George Miles' travel experience in two different countries, that is Japan and Brazil. And the main things what we are going to learn, or what he is trying to convey us, the mannerism of Japanese people, especially their bowing habit, their eating habit, or eating of soup. Next is Brazilian sense of beauty and the traffic in Brazil. So let's go around along with our author George Miles. In 12th century, so many people like Ibn Battuta have traveled all around the world and have written their own experience. So let me ask a question to you. What is travel writing? Travel writing is simply writing about a place or a location. This can come in many forms and contexts. If you find a piece of travel writing in newspaper, web pages, mails, brochure, leaflets, letters, journals, and many more. So what is travel writing? It is writing. You're writing your experience about your visit in a particular country or a place. So lesson number 11, Japan and Brazil through a traveler's eyes. Before could I start the lesson, usually for your final PUC examination, you will be getting 4 markers and 6 mark 1 question from this lesson. So it is very important, so listen carefully. So let us be not too serious today right now. Let us do a small activity. Do you like traveling? Of course. No, who doesn't like traveling? Yes, it enhances one's mental horizon. Which our behavior, gestures, do you think appears strange for our foreigners? Just imagine being in Karnataka or being in India. When we have our own traditions and culture. Correct? See, most of the people in the Western culture, when you see an elderly person or when you see a person, you will greet good morning. But you see about Indian culture, look at the Indian culture. When you greet somebody, you will stand up and say namaskar or namaste, folding the hands. So which according to you is the best mannerism? Yes, namaste is the best mannerism, and it got a wonderful meaning. If you don't know, I will tell it right now. Namaste means I bow in front of the God who created you. Isn't it so amazing? So whenever you say namaste, what you are saying, that you are bowing before your God, you are respecting the creator who created you, telling that yes, namaskar, I respect the God who created you. It's a wonderful thing. Instead of telling, now I have seen most of the students, what they say, instead of telling good morning ma'am, they say morning ma'am. So just you see the meaning of morning. Sometimes it sounds so weird. Morning, MOURNING, instead of MORNING, it sounds like that. So be careful when you greet somebody. Say good morning, good evening, not morning. Yes. Do you think living in a foreign city, visiting a foreign country makes us aware of our own culture? Definitely, it it when we go abroad. It will bring back, it will that we long to be in our own native place. And sometimes the festivals like some harvest festival, the Pongal, Onam, you definitely long to be in your own places, isn't it so? Yes. So let us go into your textbook. Not on travel writing. Travel writing is about writing one's experience of traveling. So underline that, it is for one marker. What is travel writing? Travel writing is about writing one's experience of travel experience, visiting an alien unknown places. In the 2nd century, it became very famous in the genre. The trend became very famous when travelers to Greece recorded their experience in the form of diary. So initially the travel writing started from Greece. In 2nd century they started writing in the form of diary, like your experiences. With the invention of new techniques of navigation and sea voyage, during 9th and 10th century, travel writing became popular as more people began to explore. Explore means invent new places on the globe. So as the centuries, it started in the 2nd century, but in 9th century, the moment and the speed increased. Many people became attracted or interested in travel writing. Soon, such trips started getting royal patronage. Patronage means support. Royal patronage means support from the king and the queen. It is not easy to go for a long journey, and it requires lot of money. So people, even the king started encouraging and supporting the people, those who are interested in going out to different places, and support. New adventures and voyages were even commissioned started. Thus, travel writing ceased to be just a description of new place born out of curiosity and gain political overtones. Earlier, people used to visit different places to merely to know about it out of curiosity, eagerness you can say, but now it became a trend. Now, even after much of the earth has been explored and almost every piece on this earth has been written about, and its popularity has not waned, as can be seen by immense viewership in the modern media like TV and internet. So day by day, the travel writing is becoming more interesting, and more people were looking into it because of the most of the people are seeing in their TV and internet. Travel writing has come under serious scholarly study in the past 50 years. So 50 years back, it has studied. People are taking graduation, or they are taken it in the form of studies to get degrees. Has become a part of cultural studies program in many universities. Travel writing is no longer viewed as a product of some innocent curiosity or an attempt to understand alien culture. So right now, in the 2nd century, it started out of curiosity, but right now, what happened to the travel writing? It has become very it has become taken into more serious, understand, and it has become the part of our cultural study program. No more we are not going to look out of curiosity but to know about an alien country or country, but these natives are telling comments on how culture get represented by another, and in this process subtly uphold some cultural values as somehow superior and universal than others. So when you go travel far and wide, you cannot tell that this culture is good, that culture is bad. It is part and parcel of their tradition, their heritage, their legacy. So if it is good for us, we can imbibe. So the first page says about the travel writing started in 2nd century, and 9th and 10th century it became more prominent, and people, even the king, started to support the people, those who are ready to travel, and right now, because of the media like TV and internet, most of the people started watching about their travel experience, and now this travel experience have come under the study of cultural study program. So let us go deep into his view, his perspective. Whose perspective? It's only George Mike's perspective about Japanese manners. A quarter of an hour, you can see that a quarter is written in capital letter over here. Of an hour in Japan will convince you that you are among exquisitely well-mannered people. If you stay there for 15 minutes, when you land up in Japan, you feel that you are among the well-mannered people in the world. People who live on a hopeless overcrowded island, having to respect one another's privacy, or rather would have if they had any privacy, but they don't. So underline this line: courtesy has double function in Japan. Courtesy substitute privacy. What is the double function of courtesy in Japan? It substitute privacy. So talking about Japanese manner, the author George Mike is highly impressed about there, and he says that they are one among the well-mannered people all over the world because they respect other people's privacy. So he is telling an example. A little red phones in the streets, shops, halls or hotels. The instrument is situated on a table or on a counter. They have no space to spare for booths. You conduct your most confidential business transaction, your intimate love quarrels in public, yet in perfect privacy. So here he is telling that in Japanese culture, courtesy have double function. It constitute double function is that courtesy substitute your privacy. So here he is telling that we Indians are very bad about it. We always like to hear from what is happening to your next door neighbor, but here he is telling that Japanese people are very well cultured people. They never bothered to hear or overhear somebody's conversation. In a public place also, you can stand and talk about your confidential business transaction, or even you can show your inner feelings to your lover in a public place, because nobody bothers or nobody wanted to overhear your conversation. So a man's telephone receiver is his castle. Castle means his palace, his own palace or kingdom, we can say. You will of course immediately notice their mania. So first paragraph, what author is speaking about? Well-mannered. What is the well-mannerism he's talking? Courtesy substitute privacy. And he's giving the example. If you wanted to speak in public place also, it is possible. You can express because nobody will overhear your conversation. Next he's talking, the next second thing what he's talking about is their mania. Mania means a madness, we can say. Mania for bowing. Bowing means yes, like this, bowing. Everybody keeps bowing to everyone with ceremonious manner. Ceremonious means in a ritualistic manner. Solemnity of the courtier, yet with a great deal of natural and inimitable grace. Underline inimitable grace. It is not just for the sake of doing, as I told you in the initially, that I have seen most of the students wishing the students, instead of telling good morning ma'am, you say morning ma'am. See, like that. Sometimes we won't understand what they are saying. So here he is telling that most of the people in Japan, it's a mania. They all bow in front of others. How they will? You cannot in a solemn, in a ceremonious way and in a graceful manner. Bowing is neither less nor more silly than handshake. See, when some in European culture, when you meet, you can see you will shake your hands and greet, or kissing. There's some of their culture, especially the Anglo-Indian culture. You can see that when you see your cousin, your relatives, instead of telling good morning, you will kiss on their cheeks. But it's quainter, more formal, more oriental. It is also infectious. So bowing in Japan is what? It's quite formal, oriental and infectious. Everyone does it. After a few hours, you start bowing yourself, but you bow too deeply, not too deeply enough. You bow to a wrong man and the wrong time. You do not clasp your hands. You will not do like this, clasping your hands in front of, which is bad. You will discover that Japanese have a complicated hierarchy. Hierarchy means like in a pyramid structure, you can see, just like number 1, 2, 3, 4, like that hierarchy. That means an order is there. You will discover that Japanese had a complicated hierarchy in bowing. Who bows to whom, how deeply and how long. So you are saying that it's not just like you're bowing like this. No, it depends on your status. If you're an elderly person, and who will bow first? The younger person will bow first, and then after that only he will receive. Until that he receives your bow, you will be bowing down. So there is a hierarchy according to your age, your status, you will bow. One of the American state had a early traffic law which laid down if two car meets an intersection means in the meeting point, joining intersection. This line, we will say the two lines intersect means meeting point. Neither was to move before the other has gone. Similarly, if two Japanese, so here American state had a traffic law. So what is their traffic law says? If two cars meet in the same point, who has to move first? Either was to move before the other had gone. The first one have to move, then you have to leave and give for the other one. Similarly, if two Japanese bow, neither is to straighten out before the other stand erect in front of him. So you cannot, I am an elder, there is a way how each of the person then a little complicated to us. They manage it without difficulty, and even smallest difference in rank, stage, age, social position will subtly reflected in the split of the second. You cannot tell you are going to bow like this for 1 hour. No, it is just like that fraction of seconds it happens, because it is in their blood. From the small age onwards they are being trained to do it. And actually the author says that he is highly impressed with their manner of bowing mania, that is respecting the person. In many cases, there are clear-cut differences position, the basic rules inside the family. So here sometimes you will see the wife will bow to her husband, children will bow to father, younger brother to the elder brother. And I saw baby George Mike is saying that in babies carried Japanese style on their mother's back in their little saddle. You can see that just like a pouch, they will have a saddles behind, mothers will have behind, and when the mother bows, automatically child bows. So from the age of 0 onwards they are trained to do their bowing. Whenever the mother bowed, baby bowed too, somewhat condescendingly from majestic height. Japanese, even he is telling that in Japanese stores, nowadays in our own India also we have store managers. When we go to different jewelry shop, you can see that their storekeepers will come even to in some of the malls. You can see that there will be assistant, they call themselves as flow manager. They'll come and ask what is our requirement. So in Japanese store they have employed 2 bowing girls who stand at the top of escalator means lift, whose only duty is to bow. So their duty is not to talk or not to say. Whichever customers comes inside, they have to bow. That is their duty. So with this, I am ending my class for today. And once again, let's do a small recap of the lesson. So the lesson is written by George Mikes, and it is about travel writing. That is his experience about the traveling experience, especially in Japan and Brazil, and a short introduction about travel, writing. It started in 2nd century in Greece, and 9th and 10th century people became became more interested in it, and after 50 years you can see that it has become the part of the cultural study program in many of the university. And now it is not for just for the curiosity sake we are writing. Most of them have taken it very seriously. And the author George Mike is talking about his experience in Japan, and he's pointing, the first thing he's telling that they are the well-mannered people around the world, and he's telling that they respect their thing. That you please underline, what is the double function of courtesy? The courtesy having double function, that is substitute courtesy with privacy. And he is giving the example, if you talk in a public over your phone, also nobody bothers, you can talk your confidential thing in the public place, because the Japanese people respect your privacy. And the next important thing what he liked about Japanese people is their bowing mania, and he's deeply moved the way even the children, from the elderly people till the even the higher official, bow at each other. And he's telling that when they bow, one thing they have noticed, that everything happens within a fraction of second, but they will not clasp their hand when they bow. And the bowing depends on your position. And even in the family members also bow at each other, husband and wife, children, elder brothers to elder sister, even the higher officials. And there is a hierarchy in bowing. And next, so this is the thing we have discussed today. So if you like this class, please like and subscribe to my channel. May God bless you. So part 2 next week I will release. Please read your textbook, and as I told you, 4 mark and 6 mark will definitely from this lesson come. So please read the lesson, and thank you.